Welcome to a day in the Word. Today's reading is 1 Samuel chapter 14 through 1 Samuel chapter 16. 1 Samuel chapter 14. That day Saul's son Jonathan was talking with the young man who carried his weapons. Jonathan said, "Let's go to the Philistine camp on the other side of the valley." But Jonathan did not tell his father. Saul was sitting under a pomegranate tree at the threshing floor at the edge of the hill. Saul had about 600 men with him. One of the men was named Ahijah. Ahijah was a son of Ichabod's brother Ahitub. Ahitub was a son of Phinehas. Phinehas was the son of Eli. Eli had been the Lord's priest at Shiloh. Now Ahijah was the priest who wore the ephod. These men did not know that Jonathan had left. Jonathan was planning to go through a pass to get to the Philistine camp. There was a large rock on each side of the pass. The large rock on one side was named Bozez. The large rock on the other side was named Sinai. One of the rocks faced north toward Michmash, and the other faced south toward Gibeah. Jonathan said to his young helper, who carried his weapon, "Come, let's go to the camp of those foreigners. Maybe the Lord will use us to defeat them. Nothing can stop the Lord. It doesn't matter if we have many soldiers or just a few soldiers." The young man who carried Jonathan's weapon said to him, "Do what you think is best. Whatever you decide, I am with you all the way." Jonathan said, "Let's go. We'll cross the valley and go to the Philistine guards. We'll let them see us. If they say to us, 'Stay there until we come to you,' we will stay where we are. We won't go up to them. But if the Philistine men say, 'Come up here,' then we will climb up to them. That will be a sign from God. That will mean that the Lord will allow us to defeat them." So Jonathan and his helper let the Philistines see them. The Philistine guard said, "Look, the Hebrews are coming out of the holes they were hiding in." The Philistines in the fort shouted to Jonathan and his helper, "Come up here, we'll teach you a lesson." Jonathan said to his helper, "Follow me up the hill. The Lord is letting Israel defeat the Philistines." So Jonathan climbed up the hill with his hands and feet, and his helper was right behind him. Jonathan and his helper attacked them. In the first attack, they killed 20 Philistines in an area about 1/2 acre in size. Jonathan fought the men who attacked from the front. His helper came behind him and killed the men who were only wounded. Great fear spread among the Philistine soldiers, those in the field, in the camp, and at the fort. Even the bravest soldiers were afraid. The ground began to shake, and they were completely overcome with fear. Saul's guards at Gibeah in the land of Benjamin saw the Philistine soldiers running away in different ways. Saul said to the army with him, "Count the men. I want to know who left camp." They counted the men. Jonathan and his helper were gone. Saul said to Ahijah, "Bring God's holy box." At that time, God's holy box was there with the Israelites. Saul was talking to Ahijah the priest, waiting for advice from God. But the noise and confusion in the Philistine camp was growing and growing. Saul was becoming impatient. Finally, he said to Ahijah the priest, "That's enough. Put your hand down and stop praying." Saul gathered his army together and went to the battle. The Philistine soldiers were very confused. They were even fighting each other with their swords. There were Hebrews who served the Philistines in the past, and who stayed in the Philistine camp. But now these Hebrews joined the Israelites with Saul and Jonathan. All the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard the Philistine soldiers were running away. So these Israelites also joined in the battle and began chasing the Philistines. So the Lord saved the Israelites that day. The battle moved on past Beth Aven. The whole army was with Saul. He now had about 10,000 men. The battle spread to every city in the hill country of Ephraim. But Saul made a big mistake that day. He made this oath: if any man eats food before evening comes, before I finish defeating my enemies, he will be under a curse. He made the soldiers promise not to eat, so none of them ate anything. Because of the fighting, the people went into some woods. Then they saw a honeycomb on the ground. The Israelites went up to the honeycomb, but they didn't eat any of it. They were afraid to break the promise. But Jonathan didn't know about the oath. He didn't hear his father make the soldiers promise not to eat. Jonathan had a stick in his hand, so he dipped the end of the stick into the honeycomb and pulled out some honey. He ate the honey and began to feel much better. One of the soldiers told Jonathan, your father forced the soldiers to make a special promise. He said that any man who eats today will be under a curse. So the men have not eaten anything. That's why they are weak. Jonathan said, my father has brought a lot of trouble to the land. See how much better I feel after tasting just a little of this honey? It would have been much better for the men to eat the food that they took from their enemies today. We could have killed more Philistines. That day, the Israelites defeated the Philistines. They fought them all the way from Michmash to Ahijalon. So the people were very tired and hungry. They had taken sheep, cattle, and calves from the Philistines. Now they were so hungry that they killed the animals on the ground and ate them, and the blood was still in the animals. Someone said to Saul, look, the men are sinning against the Lord. They're eating meat that still has blood in it. Saul said, you have sinned. Roll a large stone over here now. Then Saul said, go to the men and tell them that each one must bring his bull and sheep to me. Then the men must kill their bulls and sheep here. Don't sin against the Lord. Don't eat meat that still has blood in it. That night everyone brought their animals and killed them there. Then Saul built an altar for the Lord. Saul himself began building that altar for the Lord. Saul said, let's go after the Philistines tonight. We will take everything from them. We will kill them all. The army answered, do whatever you think is best. But the priest said, let's ask God. So Saul asked God, should I go chase the Philistines? Will you let us defeat the Philistines? But God did not answer Saul that day. So Saul said, bring all the leaders to me. Let's find who committed the sin today. I swear by the Lord who saves Israel that even if my own son Jonathan sinned, he must die. None of the people said a word. Then Saul said to all the Israelites, you stand on this side, and I and my son Jonathan will stand on the other side. And the soldiers answered, as you wish, sir. Then Saul prayed, Lord God of Israel, why haven't you answered me today? Show us who sinned. If it was I or my son Jonathan, give Urim. But if it was your people, Israel, who sinned, give Thummim. Saul and Jonathan were shown to be the ones who sinned, and the people went free. Saul said, throw them again to show the guilty one, me or my son Jonathan. Jonathan was shown to be the one. Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what you have done. Jonathan told Saul, I only tasted a little honey from the end of a stick. Should I die for that? Saul said, I made an oath and asked God to punish me if I didn't keep it. Jonathan, you must die. But the soldiers said to Saul, Jonathan led Israel to a great victory today. Must Jonathan die? Never. As surely as the Lord lives, no one, not one hair of Jonathan's head will fall to the ground. God helped Jonathan fight against the Philistines today. So the people saved Jonathan from death. Saul did not chase the Philistines. The Philistines went back to their place. Saul took full control of Israel and fought all the enemies who lived around Israel. Saul fought Moab, the Ammonites, Edom, the king of Zobah, and the Philistines. He defeated Israel's enemies wherever he went. Saul was very brave. He saved Israel from all the enemies who tried to take things from the Israelites. He even defeated the Amalekites. Saul's sons were Jonathan, Ishvi, and Malchi Shua. Saul's older daughter was named Merab. Saul's younger daughter was named Michal. Saul's wife was named Ahinoam. Ahinoam was the daughter of Ahimaaz. The commander of Saul's army was named Abner, son of Ner. Ner was Saul's uncle. Saul's father Kish and Abner's father Ner were sons of Abiel. Saul was brave all his life. He fought hard against the Philistines. Anytime Saul saw a man who was strong or brave, he took that man and put him into the group of soldiers who stayed near the king and protected him. 1 Samuel chapter 15. One day Samuel said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now listen to his message. The Lord All-Powerful says, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, the Amalekites tried to stop them from going to Canaan. I saw what the Amalekites did. Now fight against the Amalekites. You must completely destroy the Amalekites and everything that belongs to them. Don't let anything live. You must kill all the men and women and all of their children and little babies. You must kill all their cattle and sheep and all their camels and donkeys." Saul gathered the army together at Telaim. There were 200,000 foot soldiers and 10,000 other men, including the men from Judah. Then Saul went to the city of Amalek and waited in the valley. He said to the Kenites, "Go away, leave the Amalekites. Then I won't destroy you with the Amalekites. You showed kindness to the Israelites when they came out of Egypt." So the Canaanites left the Amalekites. Saul defeated the Amalekites. He fought them and chased them all the way from Havilah to Shur at the border of Egypt. Agag was the king of the Amalekites. Saul captured Agag alive. Saul let Agag live, but he killed all the men of Agag's army. Saul and the Israelite soldiers felt bad about destroying everything, so they let Agag live. They also kept the fat cattle, the best sheep, and the lambs. They kept everything that was worth keeping. They didn't want to destroy those things. They destroyed only what was not worth keeping. Then Samuel received this message from the Lord: "Saul has stopped following me, so I am sorry that I made him king. He is not doing what I tell him." Samuel became angry and cried to the Lord all night. Samuel got up early the next morning and went to meet Saul. But the people told Samuel Saul went to Carmel. He went there to set up a stone monument to honor himself. Then he left there and went down to Gilgal. So Samuel went to Saul. Saul had just offered the first part of the things he took from the Amalekites as a burnt offering to the Lord. When Samuel came near to Saul, Saul greeted him and said, "The Lord bless you. I have obeyed the Lord's commands." But Samuel said, "Then what is that sound I hear? Why do I hear sheep and cattle?" Saul said, "The soldiers took them from the Amalekites. They saved the best sheep and cattle to burn as sacrifices to the Lord your God, but we destroyed everything else. Samuel said to Saul, "Stop. Let me tell you what the Lord told me last night." Saul answered, "Tell me what he said." Samuel said, "In the past, you didn't think that you were important, but the Lord chose you to be the king. So you became the leader of the tribes of Israel. The Lord sent you on a special mission. He said, 'Go and destroy all the Amalekites. They are evil people. Destroy them all. Fight them until they are completely finished.' So why didn't you listen to the Lord? You did what the Lord said is wrong because you wanted to keep what you took in battle." Saul said, "But I did obey the Lord. I went where the Lord sent me. I destroyed all the Amalekites. I brought back only one, the king Agag. And the soldiers took the best sheep and cattle to sacrifice to the Lord your God at Gilgal." But Samuel answered, "Which pleases the Lord more, burnt offerings and sacrifices, or obeying his commands? It is better to obey the Lord than to offer sacrifices to him. It is better to listen to him than to offer the fat from rams. Refusing to obey is as bad as the sin of sorcery. Being stubborn and doing what you want is like the sin of worshiping idols. You refuse to obey the Lord's command, so he now refuses to accept you as king." Then Saul said to Samuel, "I have sinned. I did not obey the Lord's commands, and I did not do what you told me. I was afraid of the people, and I did what they said. Now I beg you, forgive me for doing this sin. Come back with me so I may worship the Lord." But Samuel said to Saul, "I won't go with you. I won't go back with you. You rejected the Lord's command, and now the Lord rejects you as king of Israel." When Samuel turned to leave, Saul caught Samuel's robe. The robe tore. Samuel said to Saul, "In this same way, the Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today. He has given the kingdom to one of your friends, a man who is a better person than you. The one who lives forever, the God of Israel, does not lie and will not change his mind. He is not like a man who is always changing his mind." Saul answered, "All right, I sinned, but please come back with me. Show me some respect in front of the leaders and the Israelites. Come back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God." Samuel went back with Saul, and Saul worshiped the Lord. Samuel said, "Bring King Agag of the Amalekites to me." Agag came to Samuel. Agag was tied with chains and thought, "Surely he won't kill me." But Samuel said to Agag, "Your sword took babies from their mothers, so now your mother will have no children." And Samuel cut Agag to pieces before the Lord at Gilgal. Then Samuel left and went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his home in Gibeah. After that, Samuel never saw Saul again. Samuel was very sad for Saul, and the Lord was very sorry that he had made Saul king of Israel. 1 Samuel chapter 16. The Lord said to Samuel, "How long will you feel sorry for Saul? I have rejected him as king of Israel. Fill your horn with oil and go to Bethlehem. I am sending you to Jesse, who lives in Bethlehem, because I have chosen one of his sons to be the new king." But Samuel said, "If I go, Saul will hear the news and try to kill me." The Lord said, "Go to Bethlehem, take a young calf with you, and tell them, 'I have come to make a sacrifice to the Lord.' Invite Jesse to the sacrifice. Then I will show you what to do. You must anoint the person I show you." Samuel did what the Lord told him to do and went to Bethlehem. The elders of Bethlehem shook with fear. They met Samuel and asked, Do you come in peace? Samuel answered, Yes, I come in peace. I come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Prepare yourselves and come to the sacrifice with me. Samuel prepared Jesse and his sons. Then he invited them to come and share the sacrifice. When Jesse and his sons arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, Surely this is the man who the Lord has chosen. But the Lord said to Samuel, Eliab is tall and handsome, but don't judge by things like that. God doesn't look at what people see. People judge by what is on the outside, but the Lord looks at the heart. Eliab is not the right man. Then Jesse called his second son Abinadab. Abinadab walked by Samuel, but Samuel said, No, this is not the man who the Lord chose. Then Jesse told Shammah to walk past Samuel. But Samuel said, No, the Lord did not choose this man either. Jesse showed 7 of his sons to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, The Lord has not chosen any of these men. Then he asked Jesse, Are these all the sons you have? Jesse answered, No, I have another son, my youngest, but he is out taking care of the sheep. Samuel said, Send for him, bring him here. We won't sit down to eat until he arrives. Jesse sent someone to get his youngest son. This son was a good looking, healthy young man. He was very handsome. The Lord said to Samuel, Get up and anoint him, he is the one. Samuel took the horn with the oil in it and poured the special oil on Jesse's youngest son in front of his brothers. The Spirit of the Lord came on David with great power from that day on. Then Samuel went back home to Ramah. The Lord's Spirit left Saul. Then the Lord sent an evil spirit to Saul that caused him much trouble. Saul's servants said to him, An evil spirit from God is bothering you. Give us the command, and we will look for someone who can play the harp. If the evil spirit from God comes on you, this person will play music for you. Then you will feel better. So Saul said to his servants, Find someone who plays music well and bring him to me. One of the servants said, There is a man named Jesse living in Bethlehem. I saw Jesse's son. He knows how to play the harp. He is also a brave man and fights well. He is smart and handsome, and the Lord is with him. So Saul sent messengers to Jesse. They told Jesse, You have a son named David. He takes care of your sheep. Send him to me. So Jesse got some things as a gift for Saul. Jesse got a donkey, some bread, and a leather bag full of wine, and a young goat. He gave them to David and sent him to Saul. So David went to Saul and stood in front of him. Saul loved David very much. David became the helper who carried Saul's weapons. Saul sent a message to Jesse, Let David stay and serve me. I like him very much. Anytime the evil spirit from God came on Saul, David would take his harp and play it. The evil spirit would leave Saul and he would begin to feel better. Thank you for joining A Day in the Word Bible in a Year series. Please subscribe, comment, like, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Until next time, shalom.